Okay, this is a bit of a weird question. Is fan art bad? Or really, the real question is fan art bad for you to draw for your career slash for your social media posts? So you're gonna see me working on some fan art in the background here and just some of my own work as well. So you can check that out while I'm talking about this. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying a new video style. I'm gonna see how it works out. But yeah, let's get into it. Let's go. Now, I know like a lot of people must be thinking that fan art probably isn't bad, and like it's kind of a weird question to be asking at all. Like, why are you asking? Just wait. I just want to talk about this because I learned a lot of things about fan art when I was at school. And welcome to May's Advice Power Hour. I don't know. It's just like my little advice panel here. Lo-fi and chill advice with May, because there are negatives to fan art that a lot of people don't really realize. I remember when I was in art school, the teachers told me that fan art is a bad thing to have in your portfolio. And on top of that, we started learning all kinds of things about how people could make money off of fan art and how companies would get them in trouble for it. And I learned a lot about kind of like the darker side of fan art, I guess. And like most of the time fan art is very innocent, and it's a really good way to get an outreach for people. It's a really good way to get people to click on your art and to view your channel and to view whatever you're doing. People do fan art all the time. But I learned that fan art can actually be kind of dangerous for creators to rely on, because then if you start relying on just posting fan art all the time, then people will be coming to your account for that fan art, and if you try to post anything that's like your own original work, they might not want to stick around for that, or they might not be interested in that, and they might dip. And so it's really important to be balanced with fan art when you're posting fan art on your social media or whatever it might be, and that's really important. But also, something really dangerous about fan art is if someone tries to sell prints of their fan art, if they try to sell anything or make any kind of money off of their fan art, companies can come in and, get them in trouble for it and sue them for it, or make them take it down, or whatever it might be. And that's another danger of it, because especially when you're posting your art online, it can be something that maybe gets popular, and then maybe you want to print it on a mug or something. But guess what? You can't probably do that without getting some kind of copyright law issues with like Disney or whoever. And that can be definitely dangerous when you're doing fan art, and probably not a good thing. There's a lot of like nuance to it, I guess, and I think that people just kind of assume people who do fan art are like not creative, I guess. People will say like, oh, you're not a creative person because you stole this design and you're just drawing this design. You didn't come up with it yourself. You didn't make it yourself. But like, I don't know, man. I feel like that's not cool, because, the reason I draw fan art is literally so that I can express my love for something that I really care about and that really impacted me in a good way in my art. And having people tell you that you're just like really basic and don't know how to design a character or whatever is really frustrating to hear. But I also understand, my art professors and everybody else who would tell me that fan art is not a good thing to have in your portfolio. The people hiring, like as a professional artist, let's say, like from the perspective of someone who's a professional, it is not a good idea to have fan art in your portfolio, because that fan art isn't your original design. And it's the same argument people make for you know, why you shouldn't do fan art in general, but I don't think that fan art is a bad thing. I think it's a good thing and can produce a lot of like different material for people to look at and shows that they love. Um, and you can kind of like observe a lot of really interesting things, and there's lots of really interesting scenarios that fan artists make that are original ideas that have nothing to do with the studio who did it. But, you know, I think that like when people try to put fan art in their portfolios for being hired as a professional artist, it's not good because it doesn't show the kinds of things that you can design. And it's not necessarily a bad thing because it can still show all of your technical skills. It can show you can draw a pose. It can show how good you are at anatomy and how good you are at recreating the character from whatever you might be a fan of, and that's a good thing, and there are positives to it. And I'm not saying people don't get hired if they have fan art in their portfolio, but it is better to have original characters in there and characters that you design, because it shows different skills. It shows that you can create the original idea yourself and everything. So I guess I get both sides of it. Fan art is not bad. Fan art is not something that people should stop doing, but fan art does do a lot of bad things sometimes. People will make fan art that can do bad things, like, I don't know, selling their fan art and then having the company sue them for selling fan art of, like, I don't know, like Spider-Man. You're selling Spider-Man prints, and then you get in big trouble with, like, the Marvel companies, and Disney starts suing you for selling shirts with Spider-Man. You know, it's just stuff like that that can be really bad. But I think I've learned recently that fan art is a really good way to find an audience, and it's a really good way as like a creator on social media specifically to get people looking at your work instead of, you know, just ignoring it. Because, like, you know, I draw my little character and no one cares about it because they don't know who the character is. But if they know Zuko from Avatar The Last Airbender and he's here, they're going to know instantly who he is, and they're going to like it more. And I'm providing value to the people who want to see Avatar fan art, if they want to see Zuko, right? And I think that that's a huge benefit, and it's a really good way to reach people with your art and to get them on your page and to get them enjoying what you have to offer and seeing what you have to say with your art. Because, you know, they come in, it's like you know, it's like the sample. You're giving them a sample at a supermarket or something. You're giving them a sample of, you know, your art. And like Zuko's the sample, ooh, spicy, and he's here, and then they click on Zuko, they like it, they go see the rest of your art, and then they like buy the whole 10-pack of, I don't know, like pizza rolls or something. You get what I mean? Like, it's a very, it's a good way to like draw people in and to get them tasting your art, and then, you know, maybe they'll want a whole meal of your art, and then they're gonna come to your page and see your characters and be like, oh, this is kind of interesting. Maybe I'll stick around, maybe I'll follow this person. So fan art can be super beneficial for that reason, and I think I've recently discovered that. And I've realized that, like, I need to stop just being like, I'm gonna be my own original artist, and just see fan art as kind of a way to express love for things that really influenced me and made me a better artist and inspired so much of like what I do, especially Avatar The Last Airbender. You're never gonna hear me shutting up about that show. You're gonna hear about that one a lot of the time. You're really it's my favorite show, so it's gonna show up a lot. But basically, I guess my conclusion is that fan art is not bad unless you are stealing from major companies and they're suing you because that's probably not good for you, and they're probably mad about it. And it's also not good for professional art portfolios. Not necessarily horrible for them, but it is better, according to my art school teachers, to have original work instead of fan art. But it is a really fantastic way to get people onto your pages and clicking on your videos and whatever else it might be. And that's good. That's like some pretty spicy stuff. But yeah, so that's my thoughts on fan art. And if you like the video, please subscribe. There's gonna be more coming. And yeah, I hope you enjoy and have a wonderful day. And scene. I don't know how to end a video, man. I literally, what is happening? I don't know. Click on these if you want to see more weird stuff I do. I do weird stuff on my channel. It's a party over here, kind of. Sometimes. Not always. Not always. But yeah. See ya.